Welcome to the continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College. I'm your host, Huntyr Schwegman, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in today as we put a spotlight on the news, upcoming events, and academic programs at NCCC. And in today's episode, we will be highlighting the new Automotive Technology program located at the Mitchell Career and Technology Center. Sitting down first with me today is our Automotive Instructor, Keith Wiltse. Keith, how's it going today?
Great, Hunter. Thanks for having me.
Keith, it's nice to have you here. And before we get too far into this, I just want to give people a little bit of a background on who you are and what kind of led you to, taking on this role as the first auto instructor here in the new program. So just give us a little bit of background on your experience and your background in the automotive field.
It started when I was a senior in high school. 5 of us got together and we decided that we were going to go to technical school in Arizona. And we made a pact. We made a deal. We were all 5 going to go. We had drag racing set in our hearts, and we were going to go make millions in the racing business. And I was the only one out of 5 who ended up going to the technical school. At the time, it was the best in the United States, so it was a no-brainer. College really wasn't for me at that time. I didn't think of it as like something that I was interested in. I was more interested in cars. You're talking about the late 80s. The muscle cars are still heavy in the scene. That's just what it drew me there. And being one of the best schools in the United States, I got an absolutely awesome education. I spent 2 years at UTI in Phoenix, Arizona, had a blast while I was there, and I can actually remember, Hunter, this is no kidding, I can remember sitting there in class thinking, now what if one of these days I decide that wrenching is just not for me anymore? My back hurts, my knees hurt, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? And then it dawned on me, why don't you come back to UTI or find another school when you're 55, 60 years old and get a teaching job and pass on 37, 40 years worth of experience into the lives of the next generation. That's what got me involved with teaching here at Neosho County. It's been an absolute blast since I've been here. I'd say I've been gifted with a public speaking ability, so it allows me my love, which is talking and hearing myself talk. So I get to talk to the kids all day long. Not only that, I get to spend my time teaching them about cars. How can you have a better day than that?
Yeah, I really don't know how you could have much of a better day than that when you've got your best skill and your biggest interest kind of combining into one. So now that we're a semester into the new program and you've had some time to go through a semester of classes and some of the coursework, what do you think makes the automotive program at NCCC special? And why do you think that students should attend our program over maybe another institution or other than going directly into the workforce?
Well, let me break that up into 3 parts. I guess number 1, let me tell you why I would recommend the program to the kids over another trade school if you were shopping around. We have a $1 million lab that we work with. We have the latest state-of-the-art equipment, from front-end alignment machines, the tire repair equipment, to lifts. If it's available, it's in there. They spared no expense at creating an atmosphere for these kids to be able to learn. That's also one of the things that drew me to it, the seriousness of the program. Another thing that I like is the class size. The class sizes are limited to 15 students, so it gives me a lot of time to spend with each student individually. That may sound like a lot, but what we do in the program is we break them up in teams. So they work as a group together on certain projects. So when you're talking to one, you're literally talking to 3 to 5, depending on how many I'll put in a group. One of the things that will be coming on board as we get started will be our training aids. Right now we're looking for things that, will help the kids. I was shopping all morning for engines this morning, looking for training aids through different suppliers. As we start to evolve in this program, there's going to be more that the kids can lay their hands on. So the more hands-on that we can have, and the college is completely behind that. We work on live vehicles. We'll bring a live vehicle in, do anything from an oil change to a brake job to a front-end alignment. We can hook them up to the computer and pull codes off of them. We can do just about anything. A lot of other schools that you'll see in not the area but around, they do have lab time, but they're not as absorbed as ours is. Like I said, that falls back to the class size, which really does help us. I would say that in the third part of your question, let me tell you about the certification. The Automotive Service Excellence certification is what the kids are after. Now, after 4 semesters, they can actually get a degree in the program, but as they are going through the program, they will test out of different certifications in different areas. There's 8 of them that they will test out in, and they will be certified in these areas by ASE, which is recognized as the leading standard for automotive technicians who are out in the field. Now, you won't meet every mechanic in the world who has an ASE certification. Some thinks it's something that you really don't need. But what it does is it shows an employer that you are committed to your trade and that you have some pride and some self-respect. Now, I'm going to tell you, Hunter, about these certifications. It's been some time since I was first certified. They do expire like anything else. They are a perishable skill. So I thought it would be fun to go ahead and recertify myself. I got to tell you something. They are harder than I can remember they ever were. But I had one student in the electronic test who actually beat my score. He had some bragging rights over me, but that was good that he got that because it was important to see him, be proud of that certification. And he did a great job and he worked hard and he deserved that score. The certifications are just a way for these kids to immerse themselves in the trade. When you go out into the field, you can have so many oh no moments. We'll train those oh no moments out of you so that when you enter the workforce, you're not breaking bolts, stripping bolts. You're not ruining more than you're fixing. That's one of the beauties of a program like this.
For students listening that might be interested in joining the program, is there any kind of prerequisites or specific qualifications that students need to meet before they can join the program?
Actually, Hunter, there are none. A desire to learn a new skill, to work with your hands. Obviously, a safety-minded conscience is necessary, but absolutely not. I have had students who have started in this program who could not spell the word mechanic. If it's something of interest, get a hold of me through the website at the college, and we can talk about it. If it's something that a person is interested in, you need absolutely no experience whatsoever.
And then kind of looking towards the goal of the program, I know you mentioned some of those ASE certifications, but what kind of other areas of vehicle maintenance and repair does the program dive into? What kind of other certifications are they getting? Just what's kind of the end goal and the outcome for students?
There's 8 different classifications, I guess you would call them modules, that we will go through. Everything from engines to automatic transmissions to manual transmissions to electronics to air conditioning and heating systems. After the 8 various phases that the kids will go through to actually achieve the degree, not only the certification as they go by.
And then do students have to wait until the start of the academic year rolls around in the fall, or can they pick up classes in the springtime to start as well?
Without having a great handle on the moment, I would say that starting fresh in the fall is probably the best. The way the program is going to grow for next year is that we will actually have 2 different levels running at the same time because we will have new entry-level students and we will have graduating students. So as they come on board, the only problem with ever having to have more is there's only one of me to go around and I only have so many hours in the day.
What kind of steps do you take for the program to make sure that all the classes are effective, up to date, and students are actually getting their money's worth when they graduate?
There's no 2 greater measurement tools than testing and evaluation. Not only during the ASE testing that we do with the students, we will actually take live hands-on tests throughout the school year. We will test on projects where the kids will actually be given assignments in a certain amount of time to complete those projects. These are some of the steps that we take to make the class more effective. Now, on the ASE certification tests, these are very, very difficult tests to take. If you're not a testing person, it may take you 2 tries to pass this test. We allow students 30 days between testing cycles that they can retest for their ASE certifications. So you get 2 attempts every year to pass that particular one. Let's say it's brakes. Let's say you didn't make it the first time by a couple of questions, but then we tested 30 days later and you passed and got your certification. These are the steps that we take to make sure that the students are absorbing the material. One of the greatest things is the evaluations. At the end of the year, the students will give evaluations back to the program to let us know how they saw the program from their perspective, what they learned, what they gleaned, and how they can further apply this to their future.
What kind of jobs can students maybe expect to take on after graduation? What are some different areas of work that they could land in?
They could go straight into the automotive technology field, buy themselves a nice set of tools, find a job, get an entry-level position. make a little bit of money, and then they could decide if that was something that they wanted to go on to in further. Could also get a part-time job around here. I'm sure that it wouldn't be, I have some students who actually work for shops while they're going to school. The beauty of this is, it is a technician's market, or demand is high for technicians. Well, like with anything in supply and demand, the price goes up. These guys are making far more than I ever was when I started, just because of the simple demand. We didn't talk a lot about it, but let's take electric vehicles, for example. Electric vehicles are one of those things that a guy will phase themselves into. It's not something that you start out doing. It's something that it's going to take a lot of years of experience and trust built up by either a dealership or a private individual shop that will allow them to work on those cars. We briefly touch on electric vehicles. We have had them in the shop where I was able to explain the different voltages in the vehicles. We had a hybrid in one day, got to show the kids the different system in it. Parts go up and down and parts break. There's always going to be a demand. And that demand, as it gets increased in difficulty, it's going to shrink the field even more. Coming into this field right now, it's a great opportunity because we are in the metamorphosis phase, I guess you could say, of what we're going to evolve into, what we're going to be driving for the next 10 years. Guys could come in, get the experience, and they could shoot right out in the workforce and make a good living.
Well, Keith, I thank you so much for joining me today. It was really great to take a look into the Automotive Technology program here at Neosho County Community College and really get an insight about what the newest program here is like.
Dude, it was a pleasure, Hunter. Thanks for having me here, and hope to see you soon. Thanks, dude.
Looking to take the next step in your education or career? Spring enrollment is now open at Neosho County Community College. Whether you're starting fresh or looking to transfer credits, we've got flexible options designed to fit your busy life. Affordable tuition, flexible class schedules, and over 40 academic programs are just a click away. Classes start January 21st, so visit neosho.edu/apply to secure your spot today. Again, that's neosho.edu/apply. See you this spring at Neosho County Community College. Go show! Next up, I'm sitting here with one of our automotive technology students, a junior at Chanute High School, Trenton Phillips. Trenton, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Hi for having me.
So, Trenton, we're just going to give people a bit of insight into the automotive technology program from a student's point of view, since we've already talked to Keith about the program. But what kind of got you into the program, and why did you want to join and get your certification in automotive technology?
What really got me into it was like working on stuff on my own at home, and I just wanted to better my skills at what I did and make sure I do it the right way.
So you're about a semester in now, out of 4. What kind of things have you already picked up, or what kind of skills have you learned that, like you said, you were looking to learn in this program?
One thing we've learned is the right way to do brakes. Another thing is the right way to do suspension. So you could already know how to do it, but you need to know how to do it the right way.
Going forward, what are maybe some of the areas of working on the car that excite you the most, that you're excited to learn?
Mostly like engine performance. I'm excited to learn that. The way that everything works inside of it, like inside of the engine, how everything gets all put together. I'm excited to learn all that.
You guys work on both kind of classroom work and lab work, working with the actual vehicles. So how does the balance between the classroom and the lab help you learn those techniques and those skills?
How it helps, well, like me in Pacific and maybe other people. So we start off the class by doing an hours of book work. The other half of class, we go into actually doing it hands-on and looking at what we actually read, doing the procedures and the diagnostics and everything they talked about. And so we get kind of a feel on how to do it ourselves, and it teaches our brain to do it.
So it's kind of nice being able to learn something from the book and then being able to instantly put it into use, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, Trenton, the last question I had for you was, would you recommend this program to one of your friends or your peers at your high school? And if you would, what makes you want to recommend this program to others?
Yes, I would, and the reason I would say I would want to recommend it to others is because, say you had a student that doesn't know what they want to do. This is something that they could take on and they would figure it out pretty easily. So the further you go in the course, it kind of really challenges you.
Trenton, thank you so much for joining us here today, and I hope some of your friends join us in the automotive program next year.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Looking for a new career field? Become a certified dietary manager at Neosho County Community College. This 16-credit-hour online program prepares students to work in the food service industry. Dietary manager students at NCCC are prepared with the knowledge of nutrition principles, sanitation and food safety standards, standards, personnel management and effective communication, as well as basic business operations. Visit neosho.edu/dietary manager to learn more and to enroll at Neosho County Community College today. Next up, we have another one of the students from our Automotive Technology program. Sitting in with me is another junior from Chanute High School, Sutton Friederich. Sutton, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It is nice to be here with you, Hunter.
Sutton, we'll start off with basically the same question I asked Trenton last segment. What kind of got you interested in the Automotive Technology program, and why did you decide that that's what you wanted to study?
I got in it because I occurred personal problems with my own vehicle, and I thought to myself, I would like to know how to fix this instead of taking it to a shop. The program was new when I was a sophomore, and I figured that I would take it when I was a junior, and that's exactly what I did.
So it sounds like you're not necessarily wanting to make a career out of this, but you at least want to get these life skills and knowledge of how to take care of your own car.
I'm most certainly not married to it. I think someday there'll be a problem that I could work on my own vehicle, or maybe even my friends or my kids when it comes to it, and I'd just like to know how to do those things for my future.
You're a semester in now. What are some of the skills or techniques or anything like that that you've learned so far in the class that has really excited you or that you really latched onto?
Well, I think it's just interesting when you go under the vehicle or pop the hood and you can look at things and be able to see or figure out in the book when we read why exactly that part is there and what it contributes to your vehicle. I think that's very interesting. But I think that the brakes unit's my favorite one we've came across so far. I think that it's interesting because things are on the vehicle for an exact purpose, and it's not just as simple as you would think once you dive down into it and see the brake components, the brake shoe, the brake lining, just how many things could go wrong if you don't take proper care of it.
Yeah, I think that's one part of the vehicle that I honestly have no idea how it works, if I'm honest. But that's great that you're really able to understand it and dive deep into what you're doing. Going forward, or is there any areas of the car or any skills that you're hoping to learn?
I am most definitely excited for motors. This is going to be on the second semester of the class out of 4. Because I think the motor, it's the heart of the vehicle, the meat and the potatoes. Without it, it cannot run, and I'm just very excited to learn about how exactly it works with the sparking and the timing. There's just a lot that goes into it, and it is responsible for everything on the vehicle.
Would you recommend this program to one of your friends or peers? And if you would, what reason would you give them to maybe take on the program if they're interested?
I would most definitely recommend this program to my friends for an amplitude of reasons. I think that it is a very exciting class. I like being able to have my hands on things instead of sitting, perhaps an elective, or it just gives you something to certainly do. I would recommend it if you would like a career in automotive technology or just mechanic or learn how to use a ratchet in general. It doesn't just teach you about cars, it teaches you about how to use tools that you might be able to put towards a different profession.
Well, Sutton, that's all the questions I had for you, and I thank you so much for joining me today, and good luck to you and Trenton both on your academic careers.
Thank you, Hunter. It's nice being here.
For more information on the Automotive Technology program at Neosho County Community College, visit neosho.edu/automotive or email kwiltse@neosho.edu. That concludes this week's episode of the Continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College. My name is Huntyr Schwegman, and I'd like to thank you all again for tuning in today. Don't forget to come back next week as we highlight another amazing aspect of Neosho County Community College, and visit neosho.edu for more information and to enroll at NCCC. Go Show!